Hi, I'm Courtney Sale, the Nancy L. Donahue Artistic Director, and I am so excited. We're just taking a little pause here in moment three to have, or week three, to have a conversation with Denise Cormier, who is boldly and amazingly playing Mabel Loomis Todd in Rebecca Gilman's A Woman of the World. Denise, thanks for taking time.
Sure. So nice to be here. Back in Lowell.
Yes, back in Lowell. I wanted to ask you a little bit because we know you have deep regional ties and also a relationship with MRT. And so if you wouldn't mind sharing with us a little bit about that.
Well, I am a Massachusetts girl, born and raised. Out in Ashburnham, a little town north of Worcester, is where I spent most of my time here. But then went to college, moved into Boston, lived there for 18 years, and just started doing theater. So it really is my artistic home. I've been away for 20 years, but it's still, there's nothing like the Boston theater community. And this is my home. It's so wonderful to be back, especially after this weird pandemic hiatus that I've been on, like everybody else. To kind of sit and do nothing for a year has been very difficult. But to come back here, especially in my artistic home, just feels right, like the best place to come back in. Yeah.
I love that. I also love that you are coming back in and doing this solo show. So
I thought, you know what? Dive back into the deep end. I have never done a one-person show. I have not been doing anything for a year, but here we go. Dive back in. Yeah.
I want to chat a little bit about Mabel, and it's been just very joyful to be on this journey with you about learning more about her. And I wondered if you could talk a little bit about coming in, what you knew or assumed about this story, and then also like where the surprises have been.
Well, I did not know a thing about her. Of course, I knew Emily Dickinson, but I did not know about her. And what I find so surprising is the controversy that was then and boy continues now, right up to the present moment with Dickinson scholars, and seems like people are in two camps. And of course, I am solidly in Camp Mabel after learning so much about her. She really was a woman ahead of her time. What I find most surprising is, yes, she is probably best known for this affiliation, being Emily Dickinson's first editor. But the other things that she accomplished in her life were remarkable, remarkable. She was a woman ahead of her time.
I love that you're saying that, because I also think one of the things, and Rebecca Gilman is such an amazing dramatist, and has really activated all these parts of her life. And I think there could be like assumptions that we put on it that it might be this sort of stuffy museum piece. And I wonder if you just comment on that.
Well, when I first read it, you look at the words on the page and she's giving a lecture. And I was like, oh, okay, how do you activate it? But you show up and you work with a really amazing director who has the most wonderful ideas, and then you bounce other ideas off each other. And I think with your guidance, we have created something that is anything but staid or static or lecture like. I don't know. Yeah.
That is so nice. It is all done in partnership, because it's all about all the alchemy in the room that's happening. I think folks would be really interested. We're kind of in new world here at MRT, filming these two pieces to live stream in people's homes. And so I wonder if you can kind of shed light from the actor's perspective, just how maybe some things feel different, or maybe how some things are the same.
Well, I'm going to confess to you that I have from the beginning been a person who is kind of a purist about the idea of theater being live and what happens in that room for that one night. To the point where when we used to have a choice, I would always surreptitiously vote no, even to get archival copies. Now we don't have a choice, and it's in the contract. But before I was like, no, it's so against what I think it actually is. But I will say that during the pandemic, the early part, sitting at home in my little studio apartment, I was so hungry, and I was watching as much filmed theater as I could, a lot of it coming out of the UK, and then Hamilton, of course. But I mean, I was surprised how actually moved and involved and drawn in, and how I felt so much of it worked so beautifully. So I'm excited now to see what we can actually capture from what's going on. And as someone who does mostly theater and very little on camera work, I am not really concentrating on that. I'm leaving that to the experts to capture what it is that I am going to attempt to do, like I always do on the stage.
That's awesome. I just, want to share. We're talking today on the day when we had our design run, which is our kind of first audience and also only audience.
Yeah.
It doesn't grow from there, and so it was really a special moment to hear that feedback today. And
it was incredible. And as I said to you, energetically, when I was done, I felt not spent, but energized, because even with 11, 12 people in the room, there was an exchange that fed me, fed the piece, I think, and we learned so much from that. So it was great.
yes. Okay, last question. I we don't have that immediate feedback, right? We don't have preview and a run and time to engage with the audience. So thinking about this piece in particular, and thinking about Mabel, and streaming this into people's homes, what do you hope that they experience or leave thinking about from watching this?
I want them to get a sense of her full life. I want them to be as surprised by her, as surprised as the story unfolds, as I was learning about her, and as we were kind of delving in and finding all these things out about her. And I just want them to come in and take that journey with us, and be surprised by her.
Oh, here. That's my
And end in Camp Mabel. If there are any, literary peeps out there who come in with their thoughts, I want them to Team Mabel.
we are launching the campaign. Actually, it's been launched. We're just fueling it.
Yes.
That's wonderful. And I just echo and lift up the idea of the surprise. It's one of my favorite things that theater can do. And so thanks for saying that. I'll say this now because it will be recorded for all of time. I'm just so grateful to you, and we're not done. And this has been an incredible collaboration.
Thank you. For me too.
So our folks, so that tickets are available, mrt.org, and it streams May 15th through May 30. And thanks again, Denise.
Thank you.